Hey there, YouTube fans. How you going, man? So you saw from the title, why are dating apps so bad for men, especially? Where do I start, guys? I'll tell you some of my experiences. Well, first of all, there's about 70% men on these apps and about 30% women. And so many times, time and time again, I've noticed you start talking to somebody, if you're lucky enough that they will answer. And then soon as I say, I would like to meet you, how about having a coffee? They disappear. They either completely disappear off the app, or they ghost me, or I don't hear from them, or they don't reply, or something, like all of the above sometimes. Time and time again. And apparently the research is a lot of women are just using that app for, what's the word, like verification? Validation, that they can get someone, that they're still desirable or whatever. And a lot of them are not on there to actually have a relationship or whatever. And so this really destroys your self-esteem. Like if you go back on my videos, one thing that has improved my appearance is I've got to do the maths now. So 172 minus 148. Let's do the maths. That's 24 kilos, right? So if it was 50, it'd be 22. Yeah, 24. I've lost 24 kilos, which is over 50 pounds. Okay. So I look better. I look healthier. I don't actually feel better, but that's another story. And so my attractiveness, I would say, would be up a little bit. And it just, ironically, I had more dates when I was heavier. So I don't get that. So the other thing was, a lot of women, I've seen this time and time again, they will post old photos when they looked healthier, younger photos. So I know, I can very clearly think of somebody I know who I've seen on the dating app. I messaged them and there was no reply. And then I saw them in real life and they look totally different. They're a lot older, different weight, everything. And this is time and time again. I've turned up to dates and it's like catfishing. Sometimes they don't photograph their body, they photograph their face. Now, don't get me wrong. I don't mind a woman having extra pounds or whatever. It's not about fat shaming or whatever. I think it's about the dishonesty. I kind of I feel tricked about that. That's one of the main things. And I think if you're dishonest about this, are you going to be dishonest about other things in the relationship? That's a little frustrating. And I would have to be given the right to make a decision whether I'm attracted to this person or not. And as I said, I don't mind, they got extra pounds, whatever. My ex-wife has extra pounds and it's not a big deal. It's not a deal breaker for me. But I think what I want to talk about is the way that this destroys a man's self-esteem as well. That's probably one of the most important things, that you message a whole bunch of women and they're getting messaged all the time and then they don't answer or they disappear. Now, I don't know if my sister will watch this, but one thing that was so amazing to me is she got onto a dating app. She had a lot of messages straight away and a whole lot more than me as a guy who's been on there for years. And within a very short period of time, she found a boyfriend and they're engaged. And I'm really happy for her, but I was quite amazed. And they've done this social experiment time and time again, that These apps are really good for women, by the way. If you're a woman and you're serious about finding somebody, well, that's another story. So I've just been watching some of those men that are what we call the Chads or Tyrones, the high quality, good looking, fit men that are in the top, 10% of people on the app or whatever. Some of them are just really destructive to a woman's self-esteem, soul, in my opinion, everything. So they will tell them what they want to hear, they will sleep with them, and then they will ghost them or disappear. And that would be so soul-destroying for a woman. And I understand now why a lot of them can get bitter and hurt and had trauma, PTSD basically from this process, which is really horrible. It's a horrible thing to do to a human being, I think, honestly. And there will be, and suppose you'll have to like wade through the, kiss the frogs to get the prince or whatever the analogy is. There'd be so many just simple average guys that would treat them right, that wouldn't be like that. But they may not be the most attractive guys out there. And because some of these women are getting attention from these 10s, 8s or whatever, and themselves might rank lower than that, then they think that they deserve a 10 or 8 or 9, whatever. And if they don't have someone like that, then they're not interested in the average guy. But the average guy could make them very happy. Have a family or whatever have you, look after them. So, yeah, those are some of the things that are really, really destructive on these dating apps. And I suppose it also depends on your location. And the strange thing is, for an experiment, when I've changed my location, all of a sudden I'm getting likes and matches and messages and all that, say to a bigger city than what I have. And, I don't care where someone's from. I would possibly move there. That's why ethically I didn't have a real problem about changing my location, because I would move for the right person. I'm not overly, rooted down in where I live right now. So, yeah, there's so many pitfalls. And some of the dating apps, they especially, like, I shouldn't mention any names because I'm going to get sued if I do. But I know one particular app, it sent me messages from fake profiles, and then only way I could see the message was to pay. And so then I paid, and then I discovered that these profiles were fake, or the messages didn't exist. And that is just, if you try and fight that, it was just pointless because they're in another country, for example. And so those are some of the tactics they do. And if you're not popular, your profile won't even get looked at by other people. It won't even be displayed in front of other people. I remember back in the day, Plenty of Fish was free. It's not free anymore. But that's not the app I was talking about, by the way. In fact, I think it's probably a little bit better than the other apps that I've seen, because you can see if somebody's messaged you or not. But I'm not a sponsor for them. I know that Lady Gaga in her video has that on one of her videos, has that app on there. Anyway, I think that's the main points I wanted to make. I think that if you meet in person, so through social groups or church or whatever, I think it's a lot better. They can see your personality. They can see, the way you interact with other people, how charismatic you are or whatever. Try to meet in real life. There are some organizations that are getting onto that. There was the Meet Me app, for example. That's pretty good to actually meet people. I've met a lot of people, made some friends from the Meet Me app, and they seem to be in everywhere. And it has been free. Pardon me. It has been free for me as a user. I know that the people who advertise, it's not free for the advertiser. But I guess my point is this. Try to meet people in real life to get a better sense of who you are, what you are, how you carry yourself, etc. So those are the main points I wanted to make. Please remember to like, comment, and subscribe. A lot of people, like 95% of people, they watch my videos. I've got hundreds of thousands of views and only like a very small percentage subscribe. You will help me to subscribe. This channel is not monetized anymore because of the low subscription rate. So please subscribe. Please remember to like and comment. God bless. Teacher Sal out. Ciao.